So, sure, yeah. It comes to one. There's a table back there. We just throw everything back there. Go, grab a seat, grab a seat. Okay, that is being recorded, but we think that it being recorded can be brought at a later date.
Good evening, everyone. On our meeting of January 28th. I appreciate everybody tracking through this winter weather. It's really pleasant of you to do it. And I really appreciate it as chairperson that we're here. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is the pledge of allegiance. Tom, can you lead us in the pledge? Allegiance to the Republic and to the Republic which is please forget standing. We have going around minutes of silence for a long-standing member, Barbara Adams' mother passed away, and also a Coney Island singer, Margaret Williams. Couple of minutes of silence, thank you. Thank you very much. First item on the agenda is the public hearing. 2950 West 24th Street, rezoning Ocean Tower Apartments LLC. Now, I just want to make a statement that a member of the board may ask questions, but may not at this time state an opinion without relinquishing his or her or their right to vote. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Richard Lobel. I'm from the law firm of Sheldon Lobel. I'm joined by Dan Baton on my right. And we're here with the applicant team to request the board's support of a rezoning of 2950 West 24th Street. We have the applicant team with us right here. Demetrius Mergianis is our applicant. We've got Van and Mark, who are project architects, Matthew Sloan from the environmental consulting team, and Ron Schulman from BEST, who is going to be discussing affordability. So what are we here for? There's an existing zoning district here. It's R6 and R6C12. That zoning has been in place for over 50 years, 1970. And so the goal here would be to allow for a rezoning. And that rezoning would allow us to put up an additional residential building, which would be 100% affordable, as we'll discuss. So the technical requests here are to change an existing R6C12 district to an R6 district. We're going to reduce the width of the commercial district along Mermaid Avenue. We're going to change the existing R6 to an R73, and we're going to take the existing R6 district and make it R73 and C24. What would this result in? Well, first of all, this would result in a building which would be 18 stories and would have roughly 410 dwelling units, all of which would be affordable. And it would also allow for commercial uses along Surf Avenue, which would reflect some commercial use that's already there. It would allow for this building to have a store with roughly 7,800 square feet, currently designed to be a supermarket. It would allow for roughly 10,000 square feet of community facility space, which right now is potentially going to be for daycare or other community facility needed space. And so, with this, we're allowed to utilize what amounts to be an empty portion of the lot and to utilize it for productive residential building. I'm going to run through the land use rationale, why we're seeking this, and kind of the reasons why we think it's a good idea. And then Mark and Van are going to run through the architectural plans, and then the whole team's happy to answer questions. So what's the existing zoning right now? The existing zoning right now is, like I said, R6 and C12. You can see the circled area is R6. What does R6 currently permit? R6 currently permits rather tall buildings. In fact, on our block, you see a 19-story building that was built pursuant to R6 zoning. To the east and west of our block, on the other sides of 24th and 25th Streets, you see 17-story buildings. To the north and south of us, you see 14, 15, and 16-story buildings. So within the surrounding area, there are buildings that were built pursuant to R6. Even on our site, if you wanted as of right to walk into the Department of Buildings, you would have the rights to build hundreds of thousands of square feet of floor area. So why are we here? Because R6 zoning has a close to a 5 floor area ratio, or FAR, which would allow you to have hundreds of thousands of square feet, but it would be devoted to a medical office facility. Some of it would be residential, some would be medical office. By allowing for this conversion to R7-3, which has been done in this community district before, specifically on Ocean Drive to the west of us, it's allowing for a residential building and to allow for that affordable housing, which is fairly sorely needed pursuant to city programs. The next slide shows the tax map, which shows technically what we're seeking to do. Again, along Mermaid Avenue, city planning asked us to reduce the length of that commercial overlay, as those buildings along Mermaid only really go 100 feet deep. So that becomes the commercial district ends up getting shortened. But along Surf Avenue, we now have a new commercial district, which allows for potentially a food store, allows for productive uses for the community, as well as the community facility space that we're discussing. And the remainder of the portion of the zoning becomes R7-3. The next slide is the area map, which I think really tells the story well of why we think this is an appropriate rezoning. Along Surf Avenue, at 100 feet wide, you have what would be considered under zoning an extra wide street. So 75 feet is a wide street, 100 feet would be an extra wide street. So you've got a wide street in terms of Mermaid Avenue, you've got an extra wide street in terms of Surf Avenue. All of that allows for better site access and allows you to mass these buildings to be appropriate in terms of this block. In addition to which, as we discussed, there's an existing 19-story building on our site. So this building would mirror that building and take advantage of some of this open, unkempt space. And there are 17-story buildings to either side of this block, 14 and 15 and 16-story buildings to the south and to the north. So we are within the context of the area. We do have what would be considered to be good street system as far as the area is concerned. And importantly, there's an R7-3 district that was mapped several blocks to the west of here, about half a mile to the west of here. It was an Ocean Drive rezoning. That zoning district, that R7-3, was a full half a mile further distant from the subway station, which is about 0.6 miles to the east. So even that far, it was seen as being appropriate to zone an R7-3 district. We're closer to the subway. We've got these conditions on our site which really make it optimal to put these units. The next several slides, you see pictures. This is view of the site. You can see the 19-story building that exists between 24th and 25th on our site. And inclusive of that is different views of the site from Surf Avenue, as well as from various different angles. So what do we get in terms of this rezoning and the special permits which are sought? You get a proposed 18-story building, roughly 334,000 square feet, 315,000 square feet of new residential, 7,800 square feet plus or minus of commercial, 10,800 square feet of community facility. There's a breakdown of dwelling units, 63 studios, 181 one bedrooms, 115 two bedrooms, and 49 3-bedrooms, including 2 supers units, and then a total project area of 700,000 square feet. So you have the existing building, which is 360,000, the new building roughly 330,000, 770 dwelling units, and 143 parking spaces. So with regards to the site plan and the building plans, I would defer to Mark and Van to discuss this, and then we're going to be happy to answer questions.
Okay, thank you. So we'll go through this fairly quickly and obviously can answer questions. The building is designed to be tallest on Surf Avenue and steps down. One of the major things we can talk a little more about this is we've designed it to be very resilient. So it has about a 6-foot plinth or base so that the first floor is up above the flood elevation. And the residential space per HPD's new standards is designed 28 inches above the current flood elevation to hopefully mean that it will not be flooded to 2080 on the predictions of the basis of what they're using. I don't know which other slides, so that we have so we have a rear yard of a residential recreation space. The supermarket is down here at Surf Avenue. We then have our first residential lobby. We have the community facility and our second residential lobby. The design, because it's a large building, is we're going to have 2 separate cores. So there'll be about 200 units on each of the lobbies to break down the scale. And so people are more likely to know their neighbors. And you can see we'll have planting along the street and then this series of ramps and stairs up to the ground floor. At the corner where the supermarket is, the plinth will step up so that there's a part of it that's only about 3 feet above grade. So if people are there, they're visible, and it's a way to connect it better to the street. Next. And then these are the elevations of the building. And why don't you explain that, Van?
Hi, good evening, everyone. So the design of the building, as you can see in this elevation, is actually stepping down toward the middle of the block. And we take that into consideration, to kind of preserve enough light and air to go back into the courtyard. You can see the building sort of have a two-tone. There's a pier kind of like articulating along the street. As Mark mentioned earlier, the building did the initial setback. So there's a 6-foot plinth, as you can see in the later slide. There's like a series of ramp and plantings to kind of mitigate, when you're walking against a 6-foot tall kind of plinth. The building facade have 2 piers that articulating the main entry, and then we will have the step back floor and the building continue to go up. So that's sort of like a general party how the building landscape breakdown. This is just to show you a more clear kind of how the massing is articulated. You can see there is sort of like a cross hatching that indicate the upper part of the building. So we are seeking for special permit for some of the high-end setback requirement. Under the current zoning, the maximum base height in the R6 district is 65 feet, and the maximum R7-3 that also is at 85 feet, I think. And then we basically require that the setback that is currently requirement is 7 feet. Because of articulation of a side, I also want to preserve as a maximum kind of courtyard in the middle. We are seeking for reduction of that setback. Otherwise, we'll lose quite a bit of a unit for that action.
And just to add a few things, the minimum distance between the 2 buildings, except for the 1-story supermarket, is 60 feet. And that's the minimum distance. In many cases, it's more than that. It goes up to 80 feet. Also should note the building is all electric, except for the required emergency generator. So there will be very little combustion, air pollution on the site, and noise from that.
Emergency. You want to just advance one? So it, like we said, the building's 100% affordable. It's utilizing HPD's ELA financing program. So rents basically would range from for the lowest tier would be ranging from a studio of $215 to 3 bedrooms at $500, and then would step up at 27% AMI. Studios would be $545, 1 bedroom $693, 2 bedrooms $814, and 3 bedrooms $959. Then the third and fourth and fifth tiers would have rents for studios ranging from 1,000 to 1,700, from 1 bedrooms 1,300 to 2,200, for 2 bedrooms 1,500 to 2,600, and for 3 bedrooms 1,700 to 3,000. The overwhelming majority of the units, as you can see, would be between tiers 27% AMI and 50% AMI. So you really get to some very lower rents, trying to accommodate more people in the community who would be able to fit within this scheme. So that's really the project. Again, it's a rezoning, and like we talked about, this R6 zoning district, which has been there for over 50 years. It's an old zoning district, which basically allows for a similar building typology and a similar total bulk in terms of floor area. The conversion to R7.3, the actual floor area used on the site would be less than the maximum you could do under R6. R7.3 here would be utilizing roughly 4.74 FAR, but it does allow for this productive development. Utilize some of that existing space, the unkempt space that's on the site, allow for some improvements to the site in terms of that recreation area, provide for a new food store, new supermarket, and get roughly 10,000 square feet of community facility space. So happy to be here with the community board. We're happy to go through the process, and then subject to the chair and the committee members, we're happy to answer questions.
Okay, the first, I'm gonna give the community board members to ask the questions, then we'll move on to the audience. Any community board? Mark?
I don't quite see it, but I'm assuming at the bottom of that white building surface on the right in this diagram. So that's the supermarket.
Correct.
Okay, load out garbage. How is that in the plans? I mean, you're talking about that
Right.
7,800 square feet.
It's not that big a supermarket, and between the two buildings, there would be what?
The area.
Right. Between the two buildings, there would be a loading area. Right.
Okay. Where does the truck? Where does the trucks go? For this, for the, it's curious.
Yeah, so this project, actually, we have a waste management plan. So when they look at it, you can see the in plan, there's a ramp that coming down to cellar, because it's not just the ground floor, there's also a cellar component. And the whole operation is basically go on the side of the building that have the truck and then the whole loading stuff is happening on the third avenue.
Where the trucks come in to deliver to the.
Yes, yeah, they come here.
Okay.
On third avenue.
Thank you.
Roman?
Sure. It's not. I mean, the intention basically was first to beautify the open space. And I mean, Demetrius, do you want to no, not the community facility, just that open area. Correct. Sure. No, yeah. Demetrius, you can come here. Sure. Demetrius, you want to talk to the mic?
The mic.
Demetrius, come to talk to the mic.
Need it?
Yeah, you need it.
Good evening, and I'm honored to be here. My name is Demetrios Morjanis. In terms of this open area here, that's a green area at present. It's very beautiful, actually. But what we're doing is turning it into a landscaped area that both building residents will be able to enjoy. Landscape area would have two play areas, one for or exercise areas, one for adults and one for children. It would have seating throughout where you could sit, read, play chess, play checkers. And then it would have a somewhat of an open area too, where you can move around more physically than just sitting down and watching things. But the main part of it is that we're going to join the two building residence building that we're proposing to be built, and the existing building that has about 360 apartments, so that they can enjoy that space together. The one building on the other side of that is the Ocean Towers, and there would be sharing the middle court area that would be part of the development project. And what we're going to do is make it possible for the residents that live in Ocean Towers to enter that area during open hours and enjoy it just like the new residents would be. I would think that's a good sense of community, neighbors meeting neighbors, making friends, enjoying life. There have been many studies done and a very rigorous review by the Department of City Planning on the noise levels. They asked all kinds of questions, from how long can trucks run your engine, and there's a certain time limit, what kind of equipment you're going to use, how are you going to build the building. Well, this particular building is going to be a little bit different than some other buildings. Most buildings are built with masonry. This one's going to have a cement superstructure with everything open, and we're going to enclose it with a product called Dextel. That product is a already manufactured wall system that's highly energy efficient and goes up fast. So I don't need 100 masons. Maybe I need 15 Dextel workers with something called a spider crane to lift those panels from the floor above, lift them up and set them in place. We could probably put in, several hundred feet a day, a lot quicker than would be with conventional brick and block. And I think that will make it quicker, enclose the building sooner once they're enclosed, and then the inside noise is also captured and not emanating toward the outside. It is our intent not to disturb anyone, not the people in Ocean Towers or anyone in the surrounding areas. Yes, ma'am. I believe the construction, we're conservative on this. We've allowed up to 32 months. It may not take that long.
Any other
You see that you put up there in the first five, you said the verse was 2950, 124. But that would be a lot, right? Because that lot which we just showed in 2950 would be 25th Street, which is directly across the street from PS 288, right?
Yeah, the new construction would be on 24th between Surf and, I'm sorry, 25th between Surf and Mermaid.
The existing buildings. The existing building frontage is on 20.
Construction will be going on during school, how does that?
Yes, the construction is limited to hours that are allowed by the DOB. I believe they could start around 8 o'clock and have to wind it up around 3 o'clock. And it would be during school hours. However, we have a negative declaration on this, meaning that we're not affecting anyone in the area either by loud noises, blocking views. Everything has been studied to the extent that we can. We're going to make it as uninterruptible to the community as possible. That is our goal, and we're going to accomplish that. We're going to accomplish that. We control the site because we also manage 2950, 2960, 2970 West 24th Street. So what you have here is 24th Street here, 25th Street here. In the middle, you have that recreation center that we spoke about. And most of the work is going to be contained in the back portion, which now looks like a small park. It's very beautiful. What we intend on doing is still keeping it beautiful, but making it interactive so people can use it and enjoy their lives, enjoy being outside, enjoy the convenience of having a supermarket nearby, enjoy the convenience of having childcare, early child development, and on the community spaces.
Okay, just want to remind board members, member of the board may ask questions, but may not at this time state an opinion without relinquishing his, her, or their right to vote. Okay, we go to Andre, then Michael. Oh, you had a question? I saw you were pointing.
First,
Right.
it's listed there on the bottom, it's covered by our computer stuff. But I didn't hear you guys once mention parking.
Sure. So there's this, right.
Those- Yeah, at the bottom, are those already existing spots? Or are those gonna be added spots to an existing one?
I can
Well, I can have Matt, so Matt Sloan, who's our environmental consultant, can talk a little bit about the parking.
Yeah. So currently existing, there are 163 spaces at the property pursuant to information that Demetrio has provided. About 60 of them are utilized. As part of the project, we'll lose 20 spaces. And the proposed project is projected to generate a demand of about 88 spaces based on factors pursuant to the seeker methodology. So between the 60 that are utilized and the 88 demand, we have about a five parking spot shortfall. We did a parking study in the quarter-mile area surrounding the site and found there's adequate parking during rush hours, about 50 spaces. I can only count the cars that were there.
Okay. Andre?
This is the.
Yeah.
Did that, my math, for 700 units, we have 140 parking, so it basically. One parking space for each, seven units, you're talking about, Concord, and we want to do green zones, and talking about, accessibility. One parking for 7 units, not even for one person, but 7 units. You have a 3 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, we're talking about one parking for 30 people. Plus, including commercial or commercial or development, and you're doing supermarket, something else, so you bring in more people to that commercial area. It's gonna be crowded, very bad.
Okay, let me just say something more current. Before I came here, I spoke to Jimmy Guzman, the manager, and we have the 163 units of parking and at low prices, okay? Only 39% of them are occupied. We can't get people to park. So what does that indicate? That either they don't have cars or they don't need them. They may be using mass transit. There's a lot of buses in the area. The subway is 6/10 of a mile away. I think we're going to be okay with the parking studies that indicate that we are. But I understand your concern, and I share it. And we've looked into it, and I believe that what we have arranged would be adequate parking for the area.
Space in the area in summertime, period.
You know what? We had them for rent. No one was coming over and say, "Hey, can we rent one of your parking spaces?" They're only like $60, as opposed to people charging $200.
gonna have enough money to pay for the.
And they may not have enough money for an automobile and its insurance.
One second, I'm correcting it. 1 second. 1 second. Mike?
Looking at that picture there, it looks like you have solar panels up on the roof, is that correct?
Solar panels on the roof, solar panels on the roof.
We have an issue that with what happened in Washington, some of the tax abatements for solar panels have changed. We are planning to do solar panels on the roof. Obviously, when we start building has to look at the economics, but we're designing it to do solar panels. We also have to, for DEP rules, have a green roof to soak up water to minimize the load on the sewer. And we're also doing bioswales and other planting to minimize load, and detention tanks, the load on the sewers during heavy rainfalls. So to limit the load on the sewers, but we're planning to do so.
Follow up to that, if you don't have solar panels, okay, how will you be paying attention to local law 97 then, that will require in short order buildings such as yours and mine to have solar panels?
Well, no, local law 97 has carbon footprint requirements.
Right.
The state has legislated that the grid will be clean by 2040. So just giving you, we are designing an all-electric building. We're also designing a very energy efficient building, so the amount of electricity used to heat and cool will be quite low. I could go into more details, but we will try and put solar panels on along with the other things that we're required to do. But even with solar panels, we're not going to produce all of the electricity for the building or anywhere near it. This, once you go above about 3 or 4 stories, the solar panels, so we may be able to produce 20% of the power, which helps.
But that could run your elevators or something
Right.
like that.
Well, we also will have an emergency generator because we're required to by code, because actually I've looked at this. You can't run the elevators on batteries because of the peak load. And so although we will run as much as we can on the solar, we also have the emergency generator, which is required by the building code for buildings of this size.
We'll go to 5, and then.
This is already done, this is already done, is this already a done deal?
No, we're currently in the land use review process, so we're coming to you guys for a general hearing. We're gonna go to land use for a specific hearing. They're gonna have a recommendation, come back to the full board, so.
You guys said in the jump that you already manage the property, and you spoke to the fact of the green space that's behind the building on 24th. It's beautiful and I drive by there every day as I'm an educator in the community. And when I drive by there, it's disgusting to look at. So I guess you bringing this to the community will be a plus, but right now, if you're managing it, maybe you could probably get your guys to clean that backside up because it's an eyesore.
We do so every day, except that. Well, yeah, but you have somebody there. I can get the manager, Jimmy. Jim? Please. By the way, Jimmy and I have been working together for 35 years. No, he's gonna answer your question.
Jimmy, come in, Mike.
He wants to know about the backyard, how often it's cleaned, the resources that we put into it.
That will be joining proposal, like how do you manage to maintain the cleanliness?
We're going to do it.
Okay,
I'm just saying, whatever it takes, we're going to do it. We're not gonna make a pig pen out of that area. People are gonna be using it and they're gonna be living in that area, enjoying themselves. We don't want them in the midst of garbage. You have my word, we're going to do it.
Yeah, regarding what you're saying, I know that a lot of people in those buildings in 29, 50, 60, and 70, they like to be throwing stuff out of the window. I understand that. It's a constant battle that we have, and we have to be addressing that. We clean, and then they throw some stuff again. But we have to be clean. We can't stop. I don't know if you're referring going close to the sidewalk on 25th Street.
I went to 25th Street when I pass the school on a daily basis. I'm seeing garbage, rubbish, all in the gate, not on the sidewalk, inside the gate itself. That I'm concerned that now you're gonna have 2 times of the building. And how much more garbage is that gonna bring into the community that I love?
Well,
Because I see dirt up and down Surf Avenue every day, and I'm like, where's the cleaning maintenance guys for these buildings that I see so much trash flying up and down Surf, up and down Mermaid, and into my yard personally? Okay, that I now have to become sanitation for buildings that have management cleaning crews, and I'm cleaning up that garbage too.
I share your views to a certain point. However,
Okay.
we have a common area. We have a common area between buildings that's actively, people actively engaging in activities. I think that would act as a great deterrent to what we may, at worst possible scenario, predict. It's not going, it may happen, but we will deal with it immediately. Immediately. You have my promise.
Yeah.
Right, one more. And we'll take 2 or 3 more.
You got 163 parking spaces now. You bring it down to 143 because only 60 are taken at $60 a month. He said that proves nobody in the community wants to park there, but as far as I know, only people who live in the building can park there for $60. If that's incorrect, then we should publicize it.
It's incorrect. It's incorrect. And also, our senior citizens and people that are disabled in the building get a further decrease from that $60. They're paying more like in the high 40s, 50s. And
Those hundreds available. People in the community can buy those spots, what you're saying.
no, they cannot buy them because that's private land. It's not for sale. And the purpose of this meeting, is making a development in which we're going to need that to do what.
I believe you told a big misstatement, but I want you to clarify. You got 163 spots, only 60 are being rented.
Absolutely.
Are 103 other spots available for me who don't live in the building to rent a spot?
They were available.
Or when?
No, they were available
When?
all along, but since we purchased the building and put the lot up there. Since you cannot buy it. It is, well, if it would be up until the, no, sir, can I finish? You can rent it, but it'll be up until the time that we start the development. So if you need to rent it, we have a management office that will rent your space, man, no problem, no problem.
Okay, let's move into the residential. No more. No more, we have to move on a little bit, okay? Residential. In fact, it would have been on, yes.
It is extremely vital. It is actually protects people that have that space to go in there, gated area, and value that spot. And I also know a lot of families that live in those towers cannot afford $75 an hour. Since I live on the 6th floor. So how are you not gonna block my views putting up an 18-story building 30 feet away?
It's a minimum of 60. It's between 60 and 80 feet away, so it's not 30 feet away. It will limit your view. Yes.
Yeah, but just to consider, like we talked about the existing zoning, if you wanted to put up a 9-story, 300,000 square foot building there right now, you could do so. Like I said, the existing R6 zoning gives them the right to put up that square footage. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't create the housing there. It doesn't provide for the affordable housing. And importantly, it doesn't allow for this space in the center of the lot to be used for 20,000 square feet of recreational space. So this entirety of this project with a close to 8,000 square foot supermarket, 10,000 square feet of community facility space, including daycare, and this additional recreation space, on the whole, it seemed to be an improvement to the law. So.
We're gonna take 2 more questions.
I am a resident. You know how many people here in this 48 is a resident of Ocean Towers. I have been there for almost 30 years now, okay? And to be brought here for a meeting about where we live, I think is completely insane. Why? Because the people that should be here with me had no idea this meeting was actually gonna happen. Okay, that's one. Number two, I feel that people in here shouldn't have a say about our private property. We can take care of this a whole nother way. But you know what? I don't live like a pig in the building. Although there is a whole lot of other tenants, and I don't care where you live, they're all over. These are the people that, they portray themselves as, decent people, but when they get in there, no, it tells a whole nother story. That's one. Number two, when it comes to parking, are you kidding me? Tell me if you could go to Brighton Beach and find parking. Tell me if you could go to Trump Village and find parking. No. Tell me how much they pay for their parking. I know. I had a friend that moved because that's private. What is that, co-op? She sold her spot. For almost what? $500,000. A spot. Okay? But people here are talking about our spots. I have 2 spots because me and my son. That shouldn't have the parking spot shouldn't have nothing to do with anybody in here. Okay? My view has been blocked. I live on the 9th floor. Am I complaining? No. Why? Because if you go all around 20 Island, what do you see? High rises coming up everywhere. And the best thing about building has been nothing but this disgusting place that has been there before that man took over. Okay? And we were on threatening argument with the previous owners. All right? I was on board with Shill Boy when she was alive. And she knows. I even took them to court when Sandy came. Not them. The other ones. The other previous owners, okay? Because there's more than one way to skin a cat. We can't do it like this, though. We can't do it like this. And no one should be in here trying to take away something. It's time to build up. This is what's going on all over the city. All over the city. Now, I'm about to be done. It's in the backyard. My view is blocked. Because all the high rises went up. I can't see the ballpark anymore. I can't see the fireworks. Why wasn't that brought over here? Oh, okay.
One, are you explaining the ULA process?
Yeah.
Okay. You ain't explain the ULA. Yes. You need this microphone?
Here. Now because they want our permission to build something. I don't need it. Okay, they came here or for one and only reason. The lot has different zoning. So they wanna build more than current zoning allows. There is a process. We are not telling them we like it, we don't like it. It's a process. In order to change zoning, it's a URLA process. And it has different stages.
Okay.
It's city planning, community board, borough president, city planning again. Unfortunately, I believe because many people voted for propositions last year, council members are out of the picture. So they did not come to us because we have to make a decision how you're gonna lead. They came to us only for one reason, because it's a process. Each and every building built, it was different story. I am member of this community board for many years, and I've been through many public hearings. That you said nobody knew about these public hearings, but even though it was published everywhere on Facebook and on and on. Okay, so it's a process. Nobody's excluding you. We have to be part of the process, period. End of story.
Okay, well, the client said no to this building, this whole building project. That's why I was here. Okay? That's what the client said. Right.
On the floor, please. Let's not talk.
I'm a speaker every day, all day, in the classroom, outside the classroom, fighting, right, everything. So, no, so that's why I have the microphone and.
That's why I'm not calling on you. Okay? Oh, there's gonna be a land use committee to be determined. I don't know, maybe in a couple of, no, this is next Tuesday, so be called again. But it's gonna be held at the community board office. And you all go on, it can be Zoom, okay, and you can talk at that time too. Okay, you can express your feelings at that time, you can take them outside, and take some other tenants who are here outside, okay. That's it, we're gonna be moving on. That was, excuse me, we had one, that was the Elaine, that was someone. Okay, who wants to be here? Ed, we'll see. I give you, because you were the last chairperson. Okay.
Request, so it's gonna. My question is to every developer people. What is your plan B? If you do not get the rezone, what is your plan B for this community? Meaning, are you going to still build as of right? And I guess you'll explain that. The second thing is, tell your manager I live on 25th Street. I'll do some fires for him. We'll rent out your spaces during the meantime. This is not
Sure.
to build.
Correct.
I guarantee you, and I'm saying publicly, that I will have those spots filled with this thing.
Thank you, Mr. So just to respond. So the square footage that they can build under the as of right zoning absolutely exceeds what they're gonna build on this project. I know that. I don't know whether or not it's feasible for them to now, like, to basically, I've worked with Demetrios for years. This is, this is what he does. Can they build a mixed use community facility, medical office building with residential? They absolutely can do that. He doesn't want to do that. That's it. Well, no, understand. So it's just a question of, we don't know whether or not they would. We just know that they would have the available square footage, but there's no plans beyond.
So in other words, we need you.
Okay. Thank you very, very much for the hearing, very, very interesting educational. and take back the comments to the, these, you know.
No, we appreciate the input. This is as Elena will tell you, this is a 6-month long process. There's modifications in all these rezonings, so we're happy to get this input and to work with the community. So thank you for your time tonight.
I want to close by saying thank you very much and throwing you all a big kiss. You guys are the best.
You'll be able to speak at public session coming up. Okay? Yeah, you'll be able to speak in public session, but I gotta move on to the presentation. Okay, Pamela and John from Coney Island Beautification Project. Anybody who came tonight in this weather is 100% able to speak. Okay, no matter what time we get out of here. I guarantee you.
Yeah. Okay. Good evening, everyone. I want to say thank you very much. And just for clarification, I'm Pamela Pettyjohn from Coney Island Beautification Project.
Thank you.
And I'm a resident of Coney Island. And this project we are going to present to you today, it's a project that's going to take care, it's going to be taking place in the creek. But what we're hoping to do is introduce some green infrastructure, and hopefully the work that we do in the creek will be benefit, the community will benefit, like the homes on Neptune Avenue. It just won't be for the creek, it will be for the whole community. So this is Memphis, Washington from the Waterfront Alliance. I'm sorry, I'm kind of shook behind that last meeting. And she will do the presentation. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Yes, as Pamela mentioned, I am Memphis, Washington. I'm from the Waterfront Alliance. We are working in partnership alongside the Coney Island Beautification Project, as well as the Parks Department and the Department of Environmental Protection, to work on this project that we're calling the Coney Island Creek Resilience Project. So just a little bit about what we have going on.
Could you guys take the conversation out?
5 minutes. I'm trying to move quickly. So, all right, I'm just going to give you a little overview, talk a little bit about our stakeholder engagement, and some of the background to how we got to this point. So yes, as mentioned, we've done introductions. So the project. So y'all are residents here, you know about how much flooding this area experiences. And there have been a lot of different studies from the US Army Corps of Engineers, from DEP, from EBC, and all of these projects around what to do to address flooding have happened. And additionally, there was a project that was done in conjunction with the Coney Island Beautification Project in Cornell, which started to bring together some of these pieces and really engage community around the issue of flooding. But a lot of these projects were developed and then kind of sat on the shelf. And I know everybody is tired of being like, and what do you think about flooding? And how do you deal with it? And nothing going anywhere. So the idea of this project is to develop in partnership with community members as well as other agencies, something that's going to be actionable, implementable, and synthesizing some of the previous work that's been done and really push it forward. All right, so our project site is Coney Island Creek Park and Kaiser Park. As Pamela mentioned, this is an ecological project and we'll be dealing with this site directly, but the hope is that it will have implications and effects positively for residents around the area. So while we think about our design within this project boundary, the real idea is to try and make sure that it has impacts outside of those bounds. Like I mentioned, here with Pamela from the Coney Island Beautification Project, who a lot of this thought came out of. New York City Parks Department is one of our projects. Kaiser Park is Parks Land. And DEP is also working on it with us, particularly the Bureau of Coastal Resilience, the new part of the Department of Environmental Protection and Waterfront Alliance. Our work is, we're a nonprofit, we're citywide, regional actually. We do advocacy work, we do some design work, we do education work. And and it's all around trying to build thriving coastlines, shorelines, and waterfronts. And our project is funded by the Fish and Wildlife, National Fisheries and Wildlife, which is, why our project has a strong geological focus. It is focused on the coastline in particular. Alrighty, so generally speaking, our idea is to come up with goals and strategies that are informed by community and agencies together, and develop a toolkit of design strategies that can then be used for implementation, with Coney Island specific experiences and thought going into it. So pulling from people's lived experience to really develop something that will impact the residents. We're trying to put together a design project idea, so we're getting to the point of design, that's our goal. And to get to that goal of design, you can work just to sit there, so we're also developing an implementation roadmap. And that will look like finding funding, that like thinking about who's involved and making sure design actually gets built out. And putting those steps, those blocks in place. So most of our key considerations, we're trying to balance resilience, ecology, and access. Waterfront Alliance recognizes is all about waterfront access, and these are public parks that people use for recreation, for education. It's often really important. Habitat, Coney Island Creek is Brooklyn's last week. So balancing all of that. We have several community engagement pieces, including which build off of a lot of the work that I mentioned that Coney Island Beautification Project did with Cornell. And we're really trying to make sure that whatever does get developed is feasible, is why we're working closely with agencies, so that, because those are the people who are going to be helping build out and actually implement whatever project does get designed. All right, we started last fall, we're here in the winter time, we have a community advisory committee, as well as some agency engagements, and we're starting some of our public workshops. So we're building toward having more community direct residential input. So that's something that everybody here should keep an eye out for. And starting in early April, we'll be getting direct feedback from residents about what people want to see in this project site, and think about what we can develop that will then come out of that. So that'll be that kind of engagement is coming soon, with the goal of developing a design and pulling for that report that has the implementation plan there by this fall. Alrighty. So around stakeholder engagement, like I mentioned, we do have a community advisory committee that is helping us design and also figure out how we're going to be doing some of that broader public engagement, which is where we're going to be getting a lot of that feedback from residents about what that, not just feedback, but direct input. It's not like we're putting forth a plan and then we're asking people to tell us what they think about it. This is what should the plan be. And then we're going to come back to the community board. So this is like the first step of just letting y'all know what we have coming forward. But then once we develop more of that, this will be a space we'll be able to discuss that. So one of those forums. Yes.
Thank you very, very much.
Are those my 5 minutes?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to say thank you to the community board, because you guys have to deal with this all the time, and you're always here, championing Coney Island, and I just want to thank you. And I'm sorry that we got cut short, but thank you for the time that we got.
Thank you.
Okay.
Let's move on to the public session. Bunch of people. Let's start off with Chris. Everybody on the public speaking has 2 minutes.
Oh, thank you, Eddie. Good evening, everyone. Christopher D. Bright. Happy New Year. In the back, I have all the brochures. The only thing I ran out is the fare change. So sorry, but as you know, the base fare is now $3. Reduced fare is $1.50. Does not affect your Omni card because your Omni card gets adjustment. So, and second thing is as where I'm going to raise my voice. In the back also is we have the postcard Can I please finish what I'm saying? Thank you. The postcard in the back, please make sure, doesn't matter if you're reduced fare or full fare or accessorized customer, please make sure your card is secured. And make sure, because let's say if you lost your card, you're not far from Coney Island, still having to go to customer service centers. And we did add a couple more, so please make sure you check them. Not just in Coney Island, but further up the line. Also, the railroads information, it's this also in the back, so please make sure you take that. And just to remind everyone, because I know I've been getting emails, please remind that bus stops are not MTA property. It is DOT. So if it's a shelter, please let DOT know. If it's a non-shelter, please let sanitation know. And as a reminder, if you do see a store area or say the hospital, there can also help assist to shovel the snow as patients. That's outside, that's a truck. But at this time right now, I'm just going to remind everyone, the bus will stop near a 3 to 4 feet space because they have to come in. And if there's a walker, they do request the lift. If that driver does not, please let MTA customer feedback know immediately, and they will get reported and go back for ADA training. And I know because they do have to see a lot of people's faces on that video. And just to remind everyone, Happy New Year, Happy Valentine's Day to all the ladies in here, and Happy Chinese New Year. Thank you.
Nikki Briscoe. Two minutes.
Few minutes, I got it. Thank you all, appreciate So in response to the Ocean Tower Partners LLC request to put a new building to provide affordable housing. There are already multiple affordable houses buildings in Coney Island, and most of them are under 30% rental capacity. These so-called affordable housing buildings remain empty because no working class family or even city workers can afford to pay these rents. A one-bedroom apartment in 1515 Surf Avenue, $3,065 a month. Your rent should be 30% of your income. How many families in Coney Island make $10,000 a month? Now there's a review online from One Ocean Drive from a high-income resident that can afford to pay the rent. It's the worst area of Brooklyn, Coney Island, has way too many low-income housing projects which need to be torn down to even discuss this location. Let's be clear, these landlords sugarcoat it as affordable housing to get community board approval, but the end game is profit through gentrification. I've lived in Ocean Towers for 5 years. 3.5 years have been under facade repairs that were unreasonably long due to the landlord cutting corners, not getting the proper permits, hiring a non-professional contractor, resulting in several shutdowns, fines. 2 construction workers fell from the 19th floor and the building was fined for not reporting it. One of the 2 wheelchair accessible for tenants that are disabled ramps have been closed for 3 years. Now, it's not a matter if you get trapped in the elevators of Ocean Towers, it's when. I'm telling you right now, the plumbing is a nightmare. Apartments are getting continually flooded. Hot water is either non-existent or literally scalding, and we're often without water for repairs that don't provide resolve. Many apartments are overrun with mold. The beautiful green space that they are proposing to destroy to put up this building inhabits over 100 trees and is the lone bright spot of Ocean Towers, touching every unit in the building with sunlight, fresh air, and a beautiful view. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Nick. Okay, next on the list is Stig Rugacciolo.
So I lived in Ocean Towers since 2021, and I've seen firsthand how negligent this company is when it comes to building and construction safety. I did a little digging, and in the Department of Buildings Public Records, I found that just at the Ocean Towers building alone, they have 17 open DOB violations and 14 open ECB violations. A lot of them have to do with about the incident you heard before about in 2022, when 2 men were hospitalized with injuries from bricks collapsing on them while they were doing facade work. They didn't report to the DOB. They were hit with a $25,000 penalty, which has not been paid. And then in 2024, they got 2 more violations for unsafe storage of building material and unsafe installation of suspended scaffolding. Both of those were a $12,500 fine. Neither of them have been paid. And then last year in August of 2025, they got a violation for construction without certification, and that was a $2,500 fee that has not been paid. And I personally remember this because they took down all of the scaffolding, and the years of that construction, it seemed like it was finally over. But then I heard drilling outside of my window, and I live on the 6th floor. So I was like, why is this still happening? They claim this building is supposed to be 100% affordable housing, but I looked at the anticipated affordability for this new building, and 75% of the units require an annual income of 53,000 or higher. That's not affordable for me, and I'm sure that's not affordable for most of the people in this community. Some of those incomes go up into the 6 digits. If the city really wants to follow through on an affordable housing initiative, they should focus on the actual affordable housing that is already here and have the decency to give all of us a clean and safe place to live. Otherwise, it's just gentrification.
Thank you. Okay, Dawn Best. Two minutes.
I'll like submit to this part on the written record. Good evening. My name is Dawn Best. I was born and raised in Coney Island. I was in fact born here at Coney Island Hospital in 1964. I've watched this neighborhood go through decades of change, and too often these changes fail to improve the lives of people who already live here, especially residents past 21st Street. We have seen new housing developments come in, but we have not seen real benefits. No new jobs, no new schools, no meaningful investment in the quality of life. What we experience instead is disruption without relief. Now we are being informed that Ocean Towers plans to build a new housing structure directly behind 2960 West 24th Street, where families as well as I currently live. This decision was made without meaningful consultation with residents who will be most affected. I need to be very clear about health risks that this poses. Ocean Towers is a home to seniors, children, families with health vulnerabilities. Prolonged construction brings airborne dust, exhaust fumes, constant noise, vibration, increased rodent activity. These conditions are not minor inconveniences. They can worsen asthma in children, aggravate heart and respiratory conditions in seniors, disrupt sleep, and create unsafe living conditions for people who cannot simply relocate during construction. This is not an upgrade for current residents. It is a direct threat to our health, safety, and quality of life, and it reflects the lack of moral responsibility toward longtime residents as myself. Therefore, I'm calling for 3 specific actions. First, an immediate pause on this project. Second, a formal and transparent review of environmental health impact, specifically addressing risks of seniors and children. Third, real community involvement, including direct meeting with residents, clear communication, and resident input before any decisions move forward. We also deserve clear answers about protections, accommodations, or compensation that will be provided to residents expected to live under these conditions. Coney Island is not just a land to be developed. Is it a community? Development without resident input is not progress. It is displaced by another name. We are asking to be heard, respected, and protected in our own homes. Thank you.
Thank you, Dawn. Okay, we can go on to Lucas Spencer. Yeah. Okay, Suzette Robbins. Okay. David Kupferberg from Brooklyn Bus Redesign.
Actually from Passengers United.
Passengers United, okay. Okay, that's 2 things.
Different topic.
Okay, 2 minutes.
Good evening, my name is David Kupferberg and I am a member of Passengers United.
Passengers United is a Section 501c3 nonprofit, nonpartisan advocacy group. Go to www.passengersunited.org for details on how to donate and our counter proposal of the MTA Brooklyn Bus Network redesign. And I also have who we are placed at the back of the room. Our goal is to advocate for transportation issues based on what the people want, not what we think the people want. The goals of the MTA bus network redesigns should be close service gaps, expand service to transit deserts, and do both without negative impacts to the core network. The Brooklyn Bus Network redesign draft plan released December 2022 received an overwhelming negative response. In fact, none of Brooklyn's 18 community boards support the draft plan. We think that the MTA should delay the proposed final plan in favor of a new draft plan. At the same time, the MTA should invest 1% of New York City Transit's operating budget, or $126 million, for the Brooklyn Bus Network redesign. It seems that the MTA has heeded the warnings. On November 13th, 2025, the MTA removed most references to the next iteration of the redesign. The next iteration will not be released until spring 2026 at the earliest. Nonetheless, Brooklyn's community boards and ultimately the borough board should take a proactive approach to the MTA's lack of outreach. Now, a little history. One of the purposes of express bus service since its inception in the 1970s was, is, and will always be to complement the subway, not compete with it. But when express bus service was first established, the fare was double the subway base fare. So for starters, the base fare for express bus service should be lowered from $7.25 to $6 to encourage ridership. The 7-day rolling express bus fare cap should be lowered from $67 to $57. To the MTA and their service planners, get to know the neighborhoods before you come to the public. Go back to the drawing board. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. We sign up from JASA. I mispronounced it, right?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sarnia from JAXA, and I'm here to just share some information about how we help to support older adults in the community. We are a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping persons who are 60 and over remain in their homes and in their communities safely and independently. To qualify for our services, you should be 60 or over, be able to be safely maintained at home, and not receiving similar services from other government-funded agencies. One of our key services is ISEP Home Care, where eligible individuals may receive up to 20 hours per week of personal care or up to 8 hours per week of housekeeping. Another important service we offer is home delivered meals, and this program supports older adults who are homebound or unable to attend a senior center due to illness or frailty. And we offer a wide variety of options from Caribbean, Chinese, halal, kosher, and you can get it frozen or hot meals. JASA also provides case management, which offers one-on-one support from a trained professional. Our case management is available to individuals living in community districts 13 and 15. Case managers assess individuals' needs, develop care plans, connect clients to services, and follow up regularly. They help older adults navigate benefits such as Medicaid, SNAP, and rent-free programs. We also assist with housing, healthcare access, and safety concerns, along with many more. JASA Case Management also offers supplemental financial assistance for small medical expenses or mobility aids. If you need a grab bar, if you need things like, if you need help paying your phone bill, those are some of the stuff that we can help persons with. So at JASA, our goal is simple. We are here to help older adults remain safely at home, and we do whatever it takes to help those persons. So if you have any questions, I have some flyers at the back that you could collect. And if you know of anyone who would benefit from our services, I would greatly appreciate the shout out, as well as if you could just take one of the flyer or numbers on it and they could call us. And if you want to speak with me afterwards, I'm here to answer any questions you have. Easy.
Pedro Collins. Pedro. Okay, Jonathan Marigold and Mr. O.
Good evening. We're from the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce. We'll keep it real quick. 3 things. First, there's a program called the New York City Small Business Resource Network. It's one-on-one consultations to help business owners get the resources they need, whether it's financing or help with marketing or technical assistance, and also navigating city services. We can go.
Okay, perfect. Yes, so I'm the director of the Brooklyn Business Solutions Center. We have a center on 9 Bond Street. All our services we do is all for free. We help folks create a business plan. We offer free courses throughout the year in AI, bookkeeping, all of the things that you need to know as a business owner in New York. You know, I hire instructors for these workshops and they're all for free, you know? So you just come up to our center. We're in 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. I'm gonna have flyers talk about all the services that we offer. And if you have any questions, I have my card and I'll be around.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And the last thing, so I don't know if there are any business owners here, but just so you know, there's different commercial waste zones for businesses in community districts. Yeah, 13, 14, 15. Businesses need to sign up for, just basically have new contracts by February 28th, or else DSNY will assign them people. I'll share the information. Yes, free service.
All right. Thank you. Free services, guys. Free.
Mr. Rowan. Okay, Adriana Mitchell from Brooklyn Public Library.
Yeah, 2 minutes. Thank you. Oh, it's fine. Oh, yeah. Hi, good evening, everyone. I will try to meet the time requirement. I just have a few highlights. My name is Adriana Mitchell. I'm here representing the Brooklyn Public Library, Brighton Beach Library, Ulmer Park, and Coney. Ulmer and Coney don't have any updates, so I'm just going to focus on Brighton. So anyway, everything this, I brought a few copies, left it on the back table, but I also left some business cards and I do stick around until 8:30. So if you want to catch me and ask questions, please feel free to do so, okay? So one of the programs that I want to, upcoming programs or ongoing programs that I want to highlight is our Community Fiber Arts Group on Wednesdays from 4 to 5. We also have Creative Aging, Mindful Movement and Relaxation, ongoing series, and we have a culminating event on March 6th. Sign up. We also have services, ongoing services for our immigrant population, such as practice English in a conversation group, free English classes, free, keyword, all our services are free. And we have an upcoming author talk. So please find that information. Mostly it's going to be in Russian, okay? And we'll have translation services for English. We also want to push our Teen Chess Club, okay, for teens 12 to 18. And we have many other programs at the Brighton Beach Library. We're a unique place where we welcome everyone, no matter where you're coming from, all age groups. And we're located 16 Brighton First Road. Thank you. Oh, one last program, so sorry. Are you an immigrant looking for a job? Wednesdays from 1 to 4. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Adriana. Let's move on to the elected officials, Councilwoman Kayla. Any representative here? No. Okay, Council Member Werner Courts, right? Okay. Bridget from Assemblymember Procrasty. Well, Bridget.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming out in this winter wonderland. I do have some good news for you. In 144 days, it will be summer. I just want to start out with a just a second of silence to memorialize one of our deeply loved constituents, community leaders. Miss Margaret Williams passed away last Friday. If I could just have a moment of silence, I would appreciate it. I know we've gone long. Thank you very much. Thank you. Her funeral will be held at Coney County Gospel Assembly on February 8th. The time will be disclosed later by her family. I just got off the phone with her son. Thank you for indulging me. The assembly member is in Albany and he sent notes for me to read about bills that he has co-sponsored. It's A 7417, lower the cost of household expenses, extending A 9252, 9367, 9384, 9254 for affordable health care, creating a regional insurance marketplace. Others enhance outreach. Okay. Then we have A 9312, improve continuity of care. A 7530, eliminate taxes on tips, overtime, and private pensions up to $100,000. Working together, the assembly member says he's been working together with his colleagues and friends on the other side of the aisle. Even being a Republican, he can still pass bills with longtime friends and colleagues on the Democratic side. So if anyone has any ideas on any bills that the assembly member could present and co-sponsor, please contact our office. I also want to make you aware that we are doing our free ice skating at Abe Stark Ring on February 16th and 17th. That's in collaboration with all elected official offices, something that we feel strong about. We also are having a Black History Month celebration. The flyers in the back. That will be February 27th at the YMCA. Upcoming events will be Women of Distinction for March. We're planning a community baby shower. And then we're moving ahead for our 4th annual Juneteenth event. The event was fabulous last year. We had over 500 people. So I look forward to seeing everyone at our events. And please reach out to our office if you have any questions or concerns. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, please. New York City Controller's Office. Over. State Senate Scholars. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. We wrapped up 2025 in the Senate, and the Senator would like to share what went on with legislation in the Senate. 11 sponsored bills signed into law. 23 sponsored bills passed in the Senate. 3 public safety bills passed in the Senate. 18 veterans bills passed in the Senate. 3 affordably bills passed in the Senate. 33 veterans bills passed in the Veterans Homeland Security and Military Affairs Committee. The Senator's first day of session was January 7th, and we will keep you all updated with any legislative news regarding the Senator's work in Southern Brooklyn. 2 important events we would like to speak about. The homeowners property tax exemption enrollment and recertification session with the Department of Finance. Now, we will have this Wednesday, February 11th from 12 to 3 p.m. at the Shorefront Y, and that's 3300 Coney Island Avenue. That's right by the boardwalk. This event is to assist qualifying homeowners who are either seniors or disabled individuals who qualify with their application, whether they are new to the program or need assistance with their annual recertification. Now, the senior citizen homeowners exemption and the disabled homeowners exemption. This is a property tax break for disabled and seniors, New Yorkers who own 1, 2, or 3 family homes, condominiums, or cooperative apartments. So for both, the total combined income of all owners and their spouses cannot exceed $58,399. So if you're interested, please bring your photo ID and your 2024 tax return. Okay, that's this flyer in the back. So if you're interested, please take one of these flyers. And the Black History Month, we have the offices of Senator Spampton, Congressman Hakeem Jeffrey, Assemblyman Alec Krasny, and Councilman member Kayla Santosioso. And we're hosting this event, Black History in Education. Please join us for an evening honoring district educators and students who have shown outstanding commitment to their school or community, whether academically, through leadership, or in service. And this is going to be at the YMCA, the 27th at 6 p.m. But you do have to register. If you're interested in going, there's you could scan the code or visit the link. And also, the Master of Ceremonies is Lakeisha Bowers. Yay! So that's a great thing. We're so happy to have Lakeisha. Okay? All right, so if you're interested, please pick up the flyers in the back. Thank you.
Thank you, Alden.
You're welcome.
The last speaker from the elected is Borough President Renos's office, Erin Wright.
Good evening, everyone. Just a couple quick announcements from the Borough President, some deadlines and a couple of events. So community board applications are live. They are due February 6th at 11 p.m. All New York City residents 16 years and older who live, work, or have a significant interest in a community can serve on a community board. I have flyers for all of these things in the back, including the community board's flyer for you to take and share around. Our capital applications are also open. So every year, the borough president invests in infrastructure projects that help make our borough a better home for Brooklynites, from schools and affordable housing to community centers, cultural organizations, hospitals, libraries, parks, streetscapes. The capital funding delivers investments in neighborhoods across the borough. So applications for capital projects have to be submitted by February 19th at 5 p.m. A couple of events. The first is on Friday, January 30th, between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. at Borough Hall. This is the Van Halen event, which is New York City TLC's, Taxi and Limousine Commission's mobile customer service office. So they'll be at Borough Hall to help TLC drivers access their services like licensing inquiries and drug tests in their home borough. Borough Hall is also holding NYC free tax prep from February 2nd to April 8th. So eligible New Yorkers can access free tax filing services provided by IRS certified volunteers at Borough Hall. Those hours will be Mondays and Wednesdays from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And finally, our ULURP hearings for the Borough President's Office this year will be held every second Wednesday of the month, and we have a flyer for those dates for the whole year. Thank you so much.
Thank you very, very much, Erin. Okay, let's move on. The approval of the minutes. Robert. Yeah, motion. Motion. I'm trying to get everybody out here early. Yeah. Okay, Robert.
Thank you. Demetrius Cloud. Lakeisha Bowers. Deborah Carter. Marion Cleaver. Charlene Davis. Lolita DeVilova.
Jennifer Dublin. Olga Ford. Natasha Franklin. Roman Guinness. Taj Graham. Selena Grant. Ronald Greenberg.
Yes.
Barbara Garvin. Jeannie Hernandez. Thomas Hofer. Maxim Ibadov. Jacqueline Johnson. Yuri Krasner. Angela Kravchenko. Victoria Krugelik. Melissa Mai. Elena Machman. Vinnie Mankita. Mark Mernick.
Yes.
Christian Malieri. Maria Montalvo. Alan Newman.
Yes.
Pat O'Brien.
Yes.
Robin Parasite. Nadja Piramakadova. Milagros Quillis. Sam Rakowski. Jeffrey Sanoff.
Yes.
Fran Schwartz. Tatiana Siegel. Nicholas Sornon. Michael Silverman.
Yes.
Sheila Smalls. Vladislav Spector. Jennifer Muscone.
This seems like a great time to.
Oh, wait. Yeah, right.
That I am going for on the union board. The reason being, I am the new director of budget and legislation for Council District 43 with Councilmember Susan Small. She is the chair of the committee on aging. So as a board, we think we have a lot of common interests. So if you come into these meetings and tell me what's going on here, we have to collaborate to do great things. So hold on.
And the pleasure's gonna be working with you, with Susan White.
Andrei Tigomarov. Vanya Vasilevsky. Dennis Vidaris. Joanne Weiss. Annette Wesley. Svetlana Zelenskaya. I think come back. Okay.
Okay, moving on, the chairperson. Okay, I want to thank everybody for coming to tonight's meeting on this terrible breeze and snow, mild weather. Your attendance is and participation is greatly appreciated. Hopefully, the weather will be getting better next month. An important reminder. Your term as CD 13 board member expires in 2026. The deadline to apply for a reappointment is February 6, 2026. Borough Hall says there will not be any extensions to this deadline, so make sure that your application is submitted. If you are not sure if you need to reapply this year, or if you have any questions about the reapplication process, please contact the staff at CD 13. We are in the process of finding a new vice chair for the Parks Department. The previous vice chair, Jennifer Thorpe, and she just spoke, has resigned from CD 13, and we thank her for her service. We sent a letter to NYSERDA, the New York State Education Research Development Authority, requesting a moratorium on the construction of battery energy storage systems in our district. This was talked about at the Borough Hall meeting. A battery energy storage system is a facility where gigantic batteries are constructed to store energy. There was supposed to be one located on Stowell Avenue, but is not moving forward. There is controversy about the fire safety and environmental hazards of these facilities. In January, I attended a ULERP workshop that was presented by Brooklyn Borough Hall. Several of our board members attended too. When there are future workshops, we'll let you know so that you can attend. And they're very fruitful in their presentation. We have some holidays this month. And I'm wishing those who celebrate a happy and prosperous Lunar New Year and a blessed Ramadan. Thank you very much. Okay, now we have Jenny Hernandez going to give an update on the Brooklyn Borough Hall meeting.
Share the screen. No, it's good. Wait, where is it? Share. There we go. Come on. Let's see. Yeah, well, yeah. Somewhere here, sorry.
Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. Tonight I will discuss the expiration of the open meetings law, a hybrid provision, and ongoing topic at Borough Hall meetings. So what is the open meetings law? The open meetings law ensures that the public has the right to attend, observe, and listen to debates as well as witness the decision-making process. And what is the open meetings law hybrid provision? The hybrid provision was a legislative effort that allowed temporary waivers and extensions for conducting hybrid meetings during the COVID-19 pandemic. This provision is set to expire in June of this year. As a result, a subcommittee was formed to develop a recommendation to submit to the state, which you can see on the screen. To summarize, our subcommittee is interested in maintaining the hybrid or fully virtual meeting format for various reasons, such as accommodating individuals with illnesses, severe weather conditions, as well as enhancing access and participation for people with disabilities. Our subcommittee is also advocating for the removal of the requirement for in-person quorum for hybrid meetings. However, one concern we have is the technology used for these meetings. Many of us have experienced issues with logging onto WebEx or difficulties hearing the meeting, among other complaints. We discussed the possibility of using a different platform, but that may incur additional costs. Therefore, allocating additional funding to support fully virtual and hybrid meetings is also a part of this resolution. We are still deliberating as a committee, as this is just a draft resolution. If anyone has any suggestions, questions, or comments, please feel free to share. For now, this resolution will apply to Borough Hall meetings, and if anything changes, I will keep you all informed. That would be all. Happy Valentine's Day, happy Chinese New Year, have a great evening. Stay safe and warm.
Eddie, District Manager report.
Okay, alright, well, a lot of things have happened since last meeting. Thursday lunch, there was a lot of people there who jumped into the water. It was -3 wind chill factor. Yeah, it was cold. Let's see, we had some problems in the office. I don't know if anyone knows, but we had our elevators that were not working for at least 2 weeks. Because of that, we had to move some of the meetings that we had a week later. And what we're doing is we have to do another for education and for the health committee. So that will be scheduled in February. We also did a walkthrough with West 15th, Coney Island Phase 3, it's finally coming to end. We did a walkthrough. There's a couple of things, a couple of problems that need to be addressed. One of them are, if anyone has seen it, it looks like it has been poured correctly. They're coming back to do that whole section again. So they're anticipating when it gets warmer in the springtime. Hopefully they'll start for summer and work their way all the way to Park Place. We attended a resource night at PS 253 in Miami Beach. It was well attended. People showed up for the school resource night. Let's see. We also met with our councilwoman, Kayla, last week to discuss about district needs of community. We mentioned about the boardwalk, how she could secure the $1 billion to make sure that we secure to sanitation garage, and that comes to that, which she's on the sanitation committee. Also, another thing that are needed in this. One good thing that happened also this last meeting was the Coney Island bid officially is legal now. As of January 17th, I think it was a month later, that if the mayor doesn't sign it, it becomes by default an actual bid. So as of July 1st, we will have a Coney Island bid. Let's see. Also, as mentioned, we're gonna have a meeting next week for the land use. Talking about the Europe that we heard today. Discussions will be brought there where we can hear more in detail. We will also Zoom that. So people who cannot make it can be Zoom. We will hear your questions throughout the night. We also, during the same time, will have, an update with parcel A, which is the one that's on Third Avenue and West 22nd Street. They're going to be giving us an update of what they're doing. They also need a letter of support, for, the 384 VA. Before, which is deals with disposal of city property, so that, we can support, what they do. That would be discussed. Yes, yes, no, they don't have to, it's just that they're asking us, to get support.
How can you give somebody?
They're going to talk about this. Okay, so, but then, they're going to talk about this at the meeting. Okay, so from there, they're gonna talk about that at the language. Tomorrow night, New York Fall Art Society is going to be at the Pony Island birthday, free bar, to do a presentation about Pony Island, the future of Pony Island. We also have, and, no, that's it, alright. So, it's be from 5 to 7, but you have to RSVP for that. You have to RSVP, so if you haven't done it, you can try, but it's not, alright, so happy Chinese New Year, go ahead, Black Story. And say, Black, happy, celebrate, people celebrate Black History Month.
More items, correspondence?
Big tax help, Friday, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. We're going 6 to 8 to 10. If you have to book an appointment, you must the website and you also need to call at 718-704-0877. Two tax. We have basic for teens and twins. This program is generally supported by a grant from New York State Assembly member Alice Brock Classmate, Assembly District 46, Wednesday, 4 to 5:30. Learn to dance at the Pony Island Library with dancing queen. The New York City Department of Transportation, DOT, will be installing a new shared use locker within Community Board number 13 as part of Placa N1C, a pilot program that aims to cut down on packaging theft and reduce delivery trip. Launched on April 2024 on the Placa, New York City. Pilot program allowing New Yorkers to conveniently receive and send packages using secure lockers on public sidewalks. Recently, an expansion of the pilot program was announced. The location of the new locker is planned for 231 Neptune Avenue outside New Eastern School. Fruit, vegetable, and grocery items.
Okay, treasury report, Gary.
Thank you, Ron. This is a community board 13 drivers report for the 2026 fiscal year second quarter, which is October 1st till December 31st. Copy rental $788.40, meeting for $725.24, cable bill $87 even, office cleaning $3,000, rent $9,000, $863.24. And the last one payable $63,699.63. The total expenditure for the second quarter was $78,163.51. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, district manager, Dave. Thank you.
I just have a question for Jenny and her report for a second, if I may.
I think this will.
The resolution that you're working on, a temporary resolution, did I hear you correctly about saying that it only pertains to the Brooklyn Borough Hall meeting?
Yes, that's correct.
So it has nothing to do with community board for now.
No, not as of now. If anything changes, I will keep you all informed.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Ms.
No problem.
Let's move on to the committee reports, housing.
Good evening. So we had a meeting on housing. I mostly spoke about NYCHA. That NYCHA was developed at the time of Great Depression. And we have a lot of developments over here in Coney Island, namely Kerry Gardens, Heber Houses, Coney Island Houses, Woodwire Gardens. And I work at NYCHA as part of litigation department, and as part of my job, I work closely with all Brooklyn developments, so I personally know property managers at Woodwire Gardens, Coney Island, and so on. I spoke about various programs at NYCHA. So we have a lot of residents that have been falling behind on their rental years. So we have some people who owe us over 50,000 or 70,000 in rental years, and they fell behind during during the COVID-19 pandemic. So in addition to the ERAP program, we have had a program called CRA, which stands for COVID Rental Assistance. It was paid out in March of last year. It was the state funding. Besides the CRA program, we have had another program, the rental assistance program from HUD, the federal funding. It's called Home ARP. And there will be the last round of distribution of Home ARP funding. I think at the beginning of February. So a lot of people have been benefiting from this program, Home ARP. It pays up to 6 months of rent arrears, which incurred in at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. But there is also an additional benefit. Once you get some funding from Home ARP, you cannot be evicted for a whole year. So in the meantime, you can go to HRA and apply for a yet additional source of funding, which is one-shot deal. So I also spoke about NYCHA's Healthy Homes Department, which deals a lot with asbestos abatement, mold remediation, and lead abatement. So, as you know, NYCHA buildings were built in the 1950s, 1960s, and at that time, asbestos was used quite heavily in the vinyl floor tiles. So right now, if we have apartments with defective or broken floor tiles and the damage is huge, we have to relocate the family somewhere else, and we abate asbestos in the apartment, retile the floor, and do other changes, other repairs, and then we bring the family back. So it all happens at NYCHA expense, all the relocation, moving, and storage. And this is quite widespread right now at NYCHA. So I also spoke the new law, the good cause eviction law, which became effective in April of 2024. It basically provides protection for unregulated tenants. So there is a universe of unregulated housing, which is not rent stabilized or rent controlled or NYCHA housing. And these people have not been protected, and we have a recent law which protects them against arbitrary rent hikes and lease renewals. It protects them against evictions without cause. And it's a good law to be aware of. But again, it has a lot of exemptions. For example, the small landlords which have less than 10 housing units, they're exempt from this law. Copes and condos are exempt from the good cause eviction law. And a few other types of housing, such as dormitories. I think Lucy brought up an issue, what happens at NYCHA houses when people's income goes above certain guidelines. We do have cases like this. I think after 2 years, we do ask people to pay market rate rent if their income above certain guidelines. So far, I only had one case in Brooklyn, so I guess majority of the people with high income move out from NYCHA. So we don't have that many cases of people staying and paying high rent at NYCHA. Any questions?
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
I have a question.
Yes.
First of all, where did the speaking and information, where?
It was recorded, so there was a flyer, right? It was posted online. So I spoke at the office.
We had that house meeting. Yeah.
House meeting.
We had that on.
The second question I was gonna ask you, when you were talking about, that Lucy had, asked in case someone's income goes too high.
Correct.
All right, at what point, since New York City Housing Authority is under HUD, at what point do you call the tenants in and let them know that they can qualify for a HUD home instead of sitting in house?
So you mean a different type of housing?
Rent or own a HUD home.
I'm not sure about this program, so yeah. Okay, yeah, I need to find out. So this is not something that I deal with. I mean, NYCHA is huge. I work for a litigation department. We have leased housing department. So let's say I don't deal with Section 8 vouchers. Yes.
Several organizations that pushed forward and got it passed for the good cause.
Okay, sure.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna make a change in the little change in the agenda. I'm gonna do the good and welfare first, Marion. Then we'll go into the license renewals and new business. Take a vote on new business and the tenants to Marion.
I was taking care of my aunt.
Watch it there.
Work, I got it. I was taking care of my aunt with, they, for 30-something years. She was living in a residence sponsored by the Guild for Exceptional Children. They have 18 houses that they have 6 to 12 people that stay up 24 hours a day. The reason I'm bringing this up is we're going to have fundraise. And it's a different kind of fundraise. It's all right, and it's gonna be held at okay, where did that?
Back on Julia.
Juleps. It's getting place, there will be buffet, there will be desserts, there will be an open bar, there'll be waiter service, And there's going to be actual slot machines, craps tables, whatever. Now, sounds good, right? Right. All right, it's gonna be $150, but wait. Right, and you think about it. I haven't been to the movies since the day they announced they were having $3 movie tickets. They did. This one day, it was packed, couldn't buy the popcorn, but I don't know what a movie costs anymore. I know what probably dinner costs. Alright? When is it, February 20th? You got two of those. Alright?
Thank you.
I'm so putting it in the.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Anybody else? Good welfare? This is good welfare. Good welfare. Good welfare. Okay. Elena?
Good evening, everybody. I'll be very quick. This is why I'm asking everybody to read a list of 7 renewal applications. Instead of me reading it for you and telling you where I'm located, it's all well-known local businesses applying for review. But we have, and as you know, renewal is FYI, being involved. But something we have to vote for. It's a new legal license application, and reason it was brought under the new business is kind of sad. The applicant sent 30 days notice back in December, to be exact, on December 22nd. Okay, on January 20 something, the attorney office received the envelope return saying it was undeliverable. So when I don't know how they work, but when CB office went to post office, you found much more. Okay, this is why you have such a long list of renewals. They were just sitting in a post office, but we are not going to talk about it. Okay, regardless how many hours, it's not going to help. It's not going to change. So we have a new business. It's a new license application for a new license, wine, beer, and cider, for Geo Hincali Bar Inc., located 3120 Coney Island Avenue, Brooklyn, New York 11235. Even though it's a new business, even though it's a new application, that's a place where restaurant, famous wines and something else later were located for 11 or 12 years, when it started at least 12 years here Kenya. Okay, so that's not actually new. I sent the emails to all committee members, and I really appreciate your response. This is why they submitted stipulation, application, everything. So since there is no committee and committee did not voted for it, so there is a motion to approve new license for one beer and cider for Geo Hincali Bar Inc., located on 3120 Coney Island Avenue, Brooklyn, New York 11235. I need somebody to start. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, this is the final roll call and attendance. Okay. Want everybody to have a pleasant evening. Okay, good weekend. Watch out for the snow on Sunday. Okay. Yes. Yes.
A new fifth cloud. Here.
No, yes or no? Yeah, but no, this is for, yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Lakeisha Valley. Deborah Carter. Marion Cleaver. Jennifer Dublin. Alva Ford. Yeah. Tasha Franklin. Roman Giddis. Taj Graham. Yes. Ronald Greenberg.
Yes.
Barbara Gravel. Jeannie Hernandez. Thomas Hoffel.
Yes.
Maxine Ibazov. Jacqueline Johnson. Yeah. Laura Krasner.
Yes.
Gloria Kugelitz. Yeah. Lorena Mockman. Mark Marnick.
Yeah.
Alan Newman.
Yeah.
Ed O'Brien.
Yeah.
Ron Harrison. Roger Pirmicovdola.
Yes.
Malak Brooks Willis. Dan Rakowski. Jesse Saddle.
Yeah.
Randy Ward. Katrina Siegel. Michael Silverman. Ryan Scrum.
Yeah.
Andre Chikomarov. Vanya Misalevsky. Annette Wesley. Claudia Valensteiner.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody, and next month.
Thank you.
Definitely come by and with it, like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Сел 30 по месту. Почистили вот тут полосу. Это честно? Okay.